Hi, good day, everyone. Welcome back to Uncensored, the Truth About Money. Thank you so much for joining us. We truly appreciate it. I'm your host, Kyajunior Masango, and I'm with our residential guest, Pratamza, the financial guru.
The financial guru.
Pratamza, how are you doing?
Good yourself, buddy.
I'm good.
100%.
Good to have you back.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
We are almost at the end of 2022. How do you feel?
This year flew, hey?
Right.
This year flew.
Gets
I
quicker
was
every
quite
year.
surprised. I think I was speaking to you when you were saying, Uti, you guys already practicing for
Christmas carols.
I'm like,
yeah.
aye, come on. You know when you go to like a Pick and Pay, you see those
Exactly.
Christmas
Yeah,
decorations,
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
say
yeah.
China event. But yeah, I know it's been a good year.
Yeah.
It's been a good year. Yeah.
And how are the investments looking?
Hey,
I
I know
we
they're
had-
looking
we had-
good.
We had plans this year. That I want to invest in this. I want to buy this.
Hey,
I
my
want to
man.
purchase property.
Hey,
I
my
wanna,
man. There's our
join the
plans, then there's
team.
God's plans.
Definitely, amen.
So I can't complain.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't complain. The New resolutions have been exceeded. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
Nah, sweet. We thank God. So we are continuing where we left off, right?
Mm.
Last week we were talking about something very interesting and something that you mentioned that wasn't really well marketed, And I mean, you've been in the financial industry for over a decade now, right?
Mm.
And you said last week that was the only time you really got um, to really do in your research,
Yeah.
like thorough research,
100%.
as far as these go, right? And we had come to the conclusion that these are actually very good, especially if you want to diversify, or maybe want to save money, or whatever the case is, right? So, with that being said, obviously, please do watch part one of this episode. Very informative before you can move on to this part, just to help you understand better what we are talking about and what this episode is about. So let's continue where we left off. I know we had mentioned this, but just on the surface, we didn't really get into it. How much interest rate is earned with government retail bonds?
So as I said with our previous one, that it varies, all right, according to the investment or the certain investment character that you want to get into, right?
Yeah.
And the duration as well. So obviously we know that the longer you invest, the better the returns as well. So looking into, because these interest rates, they obviously change according to the time in which we get into the investment, right? So for example, with your fixed rates investment, so for the 2 years you get it at 8.7, the 3 years is at 9.2%, and then the 5 years is at 10.5%.
Nice.
Right? So, which is quite a good one. The RSA top-up bond is at 9.25%.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're getting, like in investment, we used to say that if you're getting anything above inflation, 2% above inflation, then you're getting your money's worth. So, obviously, looking at these, I mean, in 2 years, you're already getting 8.75% with the fixed rates, which is actually quite good.
Yeah.
Then, obviously, with the inflation one, maybe we'll touch up on it a bit later on, but it obviously goes according to what the inflation or Reserve Bank says, what the inflation is at that certain point.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So, are you able to see the prevailing interest rate? And if yes, where can you access such information?
Yeah, so like for example, now I just went live onto onto the retail savings bond website, so you can see what you are getting yourself into.
Sure.
So it's not like, something whereby to say that I know interest rates, they fluctuate according to the market. When you ask that question, from an investor, with okay, what am I getting here?
Yeah.
Whereas with these ones, it's quite clear. You know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
So it's not something whereby you'll say, hey, like if let's say you invested and you go home and your wife is like, where did you invest? Like, okay, now I invested in this certain investment. What's the interest rate? I don't know. They just said it's good. Then you're going to get into trouble, boss. But at least with this one, you can go home confidently and say, listen, this is what I invested in and this is what the interest rate is.
So, with that said, does the interest rate fluctuate?
So the interest rate does fluctuate with the inflation. The inflation rated one?
Okay.
So obviously it's linked to inflation. So we've seen that, for example, in the past 2 years, inflation has been a bit relaxed. So that the economy can get
Stabilize
reboosted
again.
and
Sure.
get stabilized again. So with that being said, your investments will obviously be inflation rate. So if it does go down, the interest rate obviously does go down. But at least if it's still above inflation rate, you're still good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when is the interest and payable, and are you able to reinvest it?
Yeah, so there's obviously options that you can choose, right, with your with your RSA. So we'll use the abbreviation. Retail savings bond is a long word. It takes up a minute to say that. So we'll just use RSA. So RSA bonds. What happens is that there's certain categories that you choose. So even if you choose, let's say, the 2-year one, right, or the 5-year one, let's stick to the 5-year one. So you can say the interest rate can be reinvested, or you can say that the interest rate must be paid into your account as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's an option that you basically choose upon yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So where are payments made?
So payments are made straight into your bank account.
Straight into your bank
so if
account.
you've chosen the option to not reinvest,
Sure.
but where the investments come to you, or the
Yeah.
interest rate come to you, they pay it directly into your bank account. In the last week's episode, we had touched up on the objectives of retail savings bonds, right?
Yeah.
So one of them is to get a different source of income. So you can use that as, something whereby you say, all right, I just want to get the interest rate on a monthly basis where my initial investment is still intact. Yeah.
This is now after your investment period. So if you're gonna opt to receive your interest on a monthly basis,
Yeah.
is this after the investment has matured? Or?
No. So within that so that's the nice thing about this investment. So that's why I was saying that it's quite a good investment, but it's not well marketed.
Yeah.
So so what they do is that they normally pay on the 31st of March or on the 30th of September. So that's the payment date, right? So for example, if you're saying, I want to be paid bi-annually, right? So on the 31st, within the 5 years. So for example, 2022 now, let's say if you invested now, so you'll get your interest rates now end of September, and then the other one next year March, and next year September as well, in the duration. So you don't wait for your investment to mature first, and then only do you reap the rewards. No, you reap the rewards while your investment is still going.
Yeah, please, whoever is in charge of this, please contact us. Let us market this product for you. Please.
Yeah, man. No, it's quite good. It's really quite good.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, if let's say I was looking now, if you're investing 100,000 rand, right? So if you received, let's say, a lump sum somewhere, you put it into that. So let's say biannually, you can get like 8,000 rand up to 9,000 rand.
Yeah.
Every single let me say every 6 months. And your money is not touched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you said you get 100,000 rands from somewhere, I just thought that new show. I don't know if you know it, Unefa. There's a show Unefa. They go around, like for example, if you write to them and then they can check for you if maybe your grandfather or whatever left you something.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like that. Yeah. So
Okay. Okay.
so that is all that I have for you, Brad Hamza. Do you have anything to close this up?
So as I said, people should just look out, into this retail savings bond. Don't associate it with what's happening politically in this country.
Yeah.
The investments are quite good and they are quite profitable. The interest rates they are quite, favorable if you compare it with other, investment portfolios like unit trusts and so forth. So it's something worth looking into. But the nice thing is that you on the RSA bonds website, you can actually do the calculations to know what you're getting yourself into before making that investment.
Do you know the website?
rsabonds.co.za.
RSA bonds. So this is not .gov.
Now I'm just messing around there. Yeah, so it's rsaretailbonds.gov.za.
Sweet.
Yeah.
We've come to the end of part 2 of Retail Bonds. So please don't forget, we are uncensored _ the truth about money. You can catch us on. So if you're watching this from YouTube, then we're also available on Instagram. Same handle, uncensored _ the truth about money. And please note that this podcast is also available as audio. So you can listen to it while jogging, driving to work, whatever the case is. It's available on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, as well as Spotify. So that's it from us. We truly appreciate it. And cheers.